Hello Model 3 fans. In this video I want to go over my predictions and the Model 3 unveil event, or go over the predictions that I had made earlier. So first, a few comments about the event itself. Some new things for this event. One, it started on time. Two, Elon Musk was like very calm and relaxed, I guess, and very polished, I guess I'd say. Usually he's a little bit more start stop kind of delivery style, but he really seemed kind of, you know, a little more Steve Jobs, I guess. Also, I thought it was kind of funny that he was wearing like they kind of look like platform shoes. I mean, I guess they're not, but it's like this super thick heel, and he's already like, I don't know what he is, 6'2", 6'4", or something like that. So that was kind of funny. But anyway, looks like a pretty awesome car. I was impressed with the design, just how it looks. It doesn't look like a, it doesn't look kind of like a economy car, really. It looks, so it still kind of looks like a people and grocery mover, but it looks like a space age people and grocery mover, as opposed to like the Leaf and the Bolt and those kind of vehicles where they look more like kind of a little bubble or something like that. So very impressed with the design. There's really is nothing like it. So in terms of the predictions that I was making, a lot of the stuff that I was talking about, we got no information on. So there were just very few specifics. So I don't know about the steel frame, the smaller motor, like I don't know what the dimension is. I said it was going to be narrower. It is narrower, but I don't know what the dimensions are. I thought it was going to be shorter in terms of height. It is shorter, but I don't know how much shorter. We don't know what the battery options will be, and we don't know how customizable it'll be. But since I just mentioned customization, I still think it will be much more customizable. Franz has said in the past in an interview with GigaOM that it's going to be more couture, sort of in style and approach, as opposed to the Model S, which is kind of ready-made and one size fits all. One large size fits all. So I don't know what's going to be customizable. I think probably there's going to be a lot more variety in paint options, maybe interior things. I don't know. I'm not a designer, so I'm not sure what customizations will be available. I bet that matte gray will be available, though. That was a super popular appearance. So let's talk about the ones that were mentioned. Autopilot. So that was sort of, okay, I mean, autopilot hardware is going to be standard. That was a given, but he didn't mention whether it was going to be second generation. Next is, he did mention adult seating, which he said was 5 comfortably. I don't know if I was right about this or not. Other people have said that with 3 people in the back, I mean, like Bjorn Nyland and Electric Jen, who both sat in the vehicle, said like, yeah, there's room, but you know, it's not like super ample. So I don't know what to say about that. And in my view, I would still call it 4.5. It is more than like the 4.5 adults in like the Chevrolet, second generation Chevrolet Volt. Different situation there. It's definitely better than that. So, okay, supercharging. So as we all expected, the supercharging hardware is going to be present in the vehicle. That was no surprise. He did imply that the supercharging service would be included, but he didn't outright say that it wasn't just going to be an option. So I'm still not sure about that. I just think that for $35,000, it has to, like, supercharging for free has to be like an add-on, not the hardware. You know, I always thought the hardware was going to be in there just so it could be upgraded, but I mean, there's already 250,000 Model 3s, and you know, giving free electricity to all of them for long distance charging, and you might say, well, they already do that for the Model S. yes, they do it for the Model S, but they also priced it into the vehicle. So like with my Model S, I paid for supercharging just because there was no way I couldn't. It's not like it's an option I could take off. It was just part of the price. So again, he wasn't super specific about that, but I concede he did imply that it was all it's not an option that's just gonna be included, hardware and the service. More aggressive appearance. Okay, I was kind of wrong on this one. I thought it was going to have more aggressive curves. Specifically, I thought the headlamps or the region of the headlamps, kind of like the eyebrows of the car, would be a little more prominent to divert wind around the mirrors. I thought that was going to be the case, but so it definitely looks a lot more like the S and the X combined, but dwarfed. So that was a miss. Hatchback. This I was also only half right on. So it is a hatchback in the sense that, there's no formal trunk with a divider. But as Bjorn Nealon said in his post-reveal comments, I guess, that panoramic ceiling roof goes pretty far back behind the rear passengers, and that's all fixed. It doesn't move. So when you open the hatch, instead of like the whole thing opening like this, it's just kind of like the back part of it opens like that. So that's kind of in between a hatchback and a trunk. So that one's half wrong. Let's see, what did I get right? Oh, I did say before that I thought the nose was going to be a lot lower, and I think I was right about this. I don't have measurements, but Bjorn Nealon said that the nose is definitely smaller. And he was pointing out that, like, in order to make the nose still seem proportional, they actually made it lower. So I was actually kind of right in that, and that the front nose does go quite a bit lower. Well, I say quite a bit, I don't know. It goes lower. And, I'm sure that helps with aerodynamics and stuff like that, which was my point earlier. So the rest of the stuff, like, I still don't know. The EPA range is said to be a minimum of 215, possibly a couple higher. I still think that's going to be a 60 kilowatt hour battery, and I'll camp on this a little bit. So when I say 60 kilowatt, I'm talking about the base model. I think there will be upgrades for the battery beyond 60. So 60, my vehicle is 70 and mine's rated at 240 miles, and you have to be getting ideal efficiency when you're driving, I think about like 300 or less watt hours per mile in order to get 240. So 60 kilowatt hours in a lighter vehicle is probably going to be in somewhere between 200 and 230. So I still think that's about right. And this brings up another issue, which is how is the Model 3 going to affect the lineup of the Model S? And here's what I think about that. I think basically, well, first, if you look back to like 4 or 5 years ago, the Model 3 is kind of the same specs as like the original Model S, like the 40 and 60 kilowatt hour. Except 40 kilowatt hours no longer. So now, given that I think it's going to start at 60 kilowatt hours, I think the Model 3, in terms of what people are going to buy, is going to replace the lower end Model S, basically my Model S, which is the 70D. When Model 3 comes out, I don't think they will be offering the 70 anymore. I think that will be just too small, because all you're getting is size difference. Gen 3 is going to have autopilot. It's going to have all-wheel drive. It's going to have, reasonable seating. At least a 60 kilowatt hour battery. Probably you could get a 70 in it, or 75. So, why pay twice as much for a Model S when you can get the same specs on a Model 3, unless you really need a giant sedan? So there's that. So I think what's going to happen is that when Model 3 is out, and probably sooner than that, Model S is going to have a shift. We already know that the P100D, the 100 kilowatt hour battery, is going to exist. It's been found in the source code of the Model S. So, and I think that's going to be released quite soon. So basically, I think there's going to be a shift. So probably the 90 won't exist anymore. You'll just have 100, and probably something below that, maybe just the 85, and they won't have the 70 anymore. Excuse me. But I think because Model 3 is going to be right below the Model S 70, and yet there's such a price difference between those, I think Model S is going to shift up. And maybe they'll even have the Model S refresh in terms of design when Model 3 comes out as well, just to accentuate, just to bring back that difference in premium, so that difference in price is justifiable to, you know, somebody who wants to fork it out for a premium sedan instead of the affordable Model 3. So that's what I think. Obviously we won't find out until probably next year is when they'll do the second unveil. So, I forgot one other thing. I was predicting 100,000 orders in the first 24 hours. I'm not exactly sure when the first 24 hours ended, because I didn't realize that Australia was going to be ordering like the night before because of their time difference. So I don't know when 24 hours ended. I don't know. 24 hours may have ended like during the presentation. In which case, during the presentation, they had 115,000 orders at that time. So I was pretty close there. But by the next day, I think it was up to, was it 150? The next day or two, it went up to 150, 180. Now it's above 250,000. That's just crazy. I mean, so right now there's like 250,000 people who are most likely not going to be buying an Audi, a BMW, a Mercedes, and maybe even some of the higher end like Acuras, or I don't know what else compares to an Acura, but you know, there's 250,000 people have said this is what I'm going to buy next year, and there's none of the other automakers have something like to compete with it. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So anyway, it was a super cool event. I did want to mention also, I was trying to Periscope off of my phone just in case there were server problems and people couldn't connect, which there wasn't much server problems at all. But anyway, right as the event started, my phone died. So to the 6 people that were connected into the Periscope streaming, I apologize for that. My phone battery died and I couldn't get it charged in time. So that's what happened there. So anyway, looking forward to finding out new information as it comes. Hopefully Elon becomes, hopefully he leaks a lot over the next coming months. I doubt it, but we can always hope. All right, see you in the next video.